Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cricketing with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. You guys, in today's tutorial, I am showing you something that I learned on TikTok. I am super excited to share this process with you. I can't even contain myself. I'm having a hard time containing myself. If you see right here, I have 3 water bottles or 3 tumblers right here in front of me. All 3 of these were purchased from Five Below. I was able to follow a process, just a little bit longer though, that I saw on TikTok in order to do etching on stainless steel. And what am I going to say? I love it. I loved it. I love the way these turned out. I am so excited to share this process with you. So, on these water bottles or tumblers, whatever you want to call them, what you see in front of you is what it looks like when I got the process right. So on this one, you see my name, and this is what I did pretty much the second time. The first time was not a success, but I'm definitely going to share that with you. The first time I did this, because I did the process multiple times, I learned that I had put too much of the citrus strip on for too long. The first time I tried it, I globbed it on and I left it on for 40 minutes, and that was actually much too much of this product, and I left it on for too long. Let me show you what that looks like, because I don't want you to make that mistake. I'm always going to show my mistakes to you because I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I make. So brace yourself. You ready? This is what it looked like the first time. Okay, so this was nothing. But of course, I wasn't going to waste this water bottle trying this process again. I just turned it over to the other side and tried it again. I cleaned it off, dried it up, and I tried it again, and I was able to achieve some success. So hopefully you can see that. But this was the second time. On this one, this was the second time. And I hope you still have yourself braced and you're prepared for what you're about to see, because this was the first time. Okay, so that was that 40 minutes, globbed on too much. It didn't work. I'm going to show you what did work. I'm going to show you my full process, how to get the citrus strip layered onto your water bottle or your tumbler the right way so you'll achieve success. Luckily, I didn't have to do it twice with this one. I was able to get it right the first time. So if at the end, and I want you to stay tuned until the end of the video, because that is where I'll show you what it looks like when you do it the wrong way. Okay, but at the end of this video, if you find this tutorial helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. So without further ado, let's look at the materials and get right into the project. You ready? The materials I'm going to use for this project include my Cricut Explore Air 2, 1 sheet of StarCraft permanent adhesive vinyl. I'm using my standard grip green matte, a paintbrush. I purchased these little cups at Walmart. These are just like the mouthwash cups. I'm using a little bit of this citrus stripping gel, and I purchased several of these water bottles from the Five Below store. So this is one of them. This is a Sora stainless steel water bottle, and I did see these in multiple colors. So you can get a good look at that. And this does say, I think it says, okay, it says hand wash only. I have not tried this kind, but I'm going to try it in this tutorial. And I also purchased this kind. This one says 32-ounce sport, and the brand is Form Fit. And I was quite certain this citrus strip would work on this one, because I can see that this one already has been has some etching on it just from the name brand. So I purchased this one, and they did have these in multiple colors also. So I saw this kind with this kind of lid, and then I saw this option right here. It's also Form Fit, that's the brand, and says stainless steel, cold 12 hours, BPA free. It does also on the bottom, it says hand wash recommended. So if you're wondering, can I put these in the dishwasher? These say hand wash recommended with or without, the etching. So if that's your question, It's already answered by the manufacturer. And then I purchased this and I haven't tried it and I probably won't try it in this tutorial. But if you decide to try it, make sure you leave me a comment below and let me know if it worked out. This one also says BPA free. And let's see. This was also from Five Below. It says solid sipper, light pink. I have not tried this one, but this is one that I tried before this tutorial. And I love the way it came out. So I definitely want to share my process with you. So in addition to these materials, the only other thing you're going to need is, a device to create your decal. So without further ado, let's get our decal cut, printed. I'm not printed, but let's get our decal cut and let's get started. I am in Cricut Design Space and I'm connected to my Cricut Explore Air 2. Now, your possibilities are endless for doing tumblers as long as you can find a design that will fit inside your sizing guidelines. So for the first water bottle or the first tumbler, the maximum amount of width I have is right at 6x1. So I will go ahead and grab my text box, and the font that I'm using is one that's called Genkeis that I downloaded from dafont.com. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my name. And, typically when you first open Cricut Design Space, it opens up at Cricut Sans. That's the default font, but I've already changed mine. So I'm going to go ahead and change the width to 6.0. And I'm going to go over here and make sure the height is not any bigger than 1.0. I'm going to have to unlock it because if I don't, then it'll maintain the ratio and it won't do what I needed to do. So I'm going to make sure my width is at 6.0, and that kind of looks awkward. So I'm going to kind of just bring it down just a little bit, and I think I'll still be safe with the 1.083. I think that will be just fine. Let me just double check while I have I think I'll be fine. Okay, so that is one of the files that I'll use, or one of the stencils that I'll use. Now let me show you what I'm going to do with this. I am going to grab a shape, and I will grab this rectangle right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock the rectangle just by using that unlock button. I'm going to put the rectangle on top. Let me change the color of it to, I'll just change it. It doesn't matter if I change it. I'm going to just put the rectangle on top of my name, and I can see that my name is completely covered. And I'm going to, just for now, I'm going to change this to a pin just so I can see it, and I'll change it back. And I'm going to stretch this out a little bit wide, much wider than I need it to, because I want my name to be in the center of this rectangle. And I want to also make sure that I can see it. I want to have a lot of space left around, my name, because I'm not going to add anything else to this water bottle other than this piece of vinyl. Okay, so I have it just the way that I want it. Now I'm going to change that rectangle, just the rectangle, back to a basic cut. And I'll select the whole thing and I will slice it. Okay, so now I have my stencil already. This, I can go ahead and delete all of this, okay, because I want to put this piece of vinyl on top of my water bottle so that when I'm ready to add the citrus strip to it, I can just add it to the open spaces here. All right, and so then for the other water bottle, I have a little bit more space to work with. I actually have right at about a width of 7.5, but I don't need that much of a width. What I'm going to need more of is, I guess, the height. And so I'm going to make my decal right at about, let's go with 2x3. So, you can, access files through crafty.net. You can use other files that you have used before. But for this next water bottle, I'm just going to upload an image of a husky that I already have saved. And it is going to be
this husky right here. I'm going to add it to my canvas. And I have this husky actually has 2 layers, and I don't need both layers because remember, when you're using the slice feature, you can only slice when you have one layers. I mean, just two layers selected at a time. And I want to create my own stencil. So let me look at which one of these layers I like the most, and I will go from there. I think it's this one. Let me duplicate it. Uh-oh, I did not mean to do that. Okay, let me look at this one and click duplicate. I think I'm going to go with this one and just give it a try. Let me hide this for now. Okay, and so remember, I can't go any bigger than 3.3 by 2. And I kind of want to keep that ratio because I don't want my husky to look strange, right? So it might be a little bit small, and I'm just going to have to be okay with that. And I don't want to unlock it because I just don't want the, let me see if 2.2 would be too big. 2.2 would be too big. Just bringing it down. I'm going to make sure. Okay. So my husky is not going to be very big, but I am confident that it will still look nice on this black water bottle. Okay, so I'm going to keep it like that. And then I'm going to grab a shape. I'm going to grab a square this time. And remember, I'm just going to put the square on top of the husky so that I can, let me just change it from a basic cut just to draw for a pen for now, just so I can see that it's, in the middle and I have enough space on the outer edges. Okay, I like that. And let me go ahead and change it back to a basic cut. I'm going to select both the husky and the square. I'm going to select slice right here in the bottom right of my screen. Okay, and that is what my decal or my stencil will look like. All right, so I have my 2 stencils ready for me to click make it, and we will move on. Okay, so because it really doesn't matter what color I place on the mat, and I'm not going to mirror this because I'm using adhesive vinyl. This is not heat transfer vinyl or HTV. So I'm ready to click continue. I am going to choose premium vinyl as my material, and I am going to keep it on default pressure because the StarCraft really does cut easily. It also weeds nicely, so I don't have an issue with cutting that. And everything that I'll do from here will be back on the camera. I have my standard grip mat. I'm going to remove the cover, and I am going to place the StarCraft on the mat with the pretty side facing up. And just going to go over this really quickly with my brayer, even though I really don't feel like I need to, just to be on the safe side. All right, and I will get my mat loaded into my Cricut machine. And I will get this cut out. I'll speed this part up. First, I'm going to show you the right way to do it, and then I'll show you the wrong way. Get your stencils cut out, and remember, when you start to weed, you will only weed away the pieces that you would normally keep. So I took all the letters off, and I took all of the intricate pieces from the husky. After you have that weeded out, what I do is I use a towel to hold the bottles in place. I got a piece of transfer tape in order to transfer and burnish the image onto the water bottles. I burnished carefully, and then I put a very, very light coat of the Citra strip on each water bottle. Very, very light coat. I burnished well, and I used a small paintbrush with a light coat of the Citra strip. After about 15 minutes, I noticed that the paint had started to bubble up. So I figured it was safe to start to remove the paint from where the stencil was. And at first I started with my weeding tool, and I was careful not to scratch it up, but I wanted you to get a close-up view of what the stencil looked like. So I grabbed my Cricut weeding tool, and I started to kind of just go in where I had applied the citrus strip, and I was carefully just peeling the paint back in the open spaces. And then once I realized that it was coming up really, really easy, I figured it would be easier and probably better if I could just run some water over it and kind of let the water wash the paint away. So after I had done this for a few minutes, I just went downstairs and I started to remove the rest of the paint just by running room temperature water over the places where I had applied the citrus strip. Now I'm downstairs in my kitchen, and I just turned on the room temperature water, and I just let the water run across the design, and I kind of just wiped it away with my fingers. I didn't want to use anything that would be abrasive to like scratch up the stainless steel, and I didn't feel like I needed a weeding tool here. So I just kind of wiped it away carefully without scratching up the stainless steel, and I removed all of the paint from the design to my comfort level. And because I was making this for myself, I wasn't as careful as I would be as if I were, attempting to sell this. But if you are making this, of course, to sell it, you want to make sure you remove all of the paint, and so you have a crisp, clean design. This is the second design. This one is a little bit more intricate, so I was definitely careful with this one. I followed the same process. I just ran some water over it, and I did use my weeding tool here because I wanted to get into those intricate spaces, the smaller spaces on the face of the husky, especially in the ears and where the whiskers were. And I wanted to make sure I was making sure that the image would show up as clean and as nicely as possible. So once I got to a point where I felt like I had cleaned out the paint from the stencil as much as I needed to, I started to peel the vinyl away to reveal the stencil and to reveal the design. And at this point, I was getting super excited because I could tell, I could already tell that I was going to love it. And good thing I'm doing this as a voiceover, because you would hear the excitement in my voice during this process. And I really had to like calm myself down because I was so excited. I absolutely love it. And if you do too, please consider liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and turning on the bell for notifications, because new content is uploaded every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye. This thick layer of citrus strip left on the bottles for 40 minutes is too much and too long. Don't do it.